in the intense world of medical emergencies.
One patient, 3 times stab wounds.
There's nothing more extreme than a code red.
It's a 2-car RTC.
That's correct.
It means there's an immediate threat to life.
Got 1 male still trapped in the vehicle.
In the West Midlands, highly specialist teams are ready to react to these major traumas.
PTO 4 minutes.
By road
It's a shooting of a male currently being shot ahead.
and air,
03, we are lifted from Cosford.
responding to the most severe 999 calls,
This is going to be tight and painful, OK, but it's going to save your life.
day and night.
All right, well done.
From car crashes to stabbings.
He's been hit and stabbed in the head.
Here, where time is critical, lives will be saved.
Everyone clear? Yep.
These emergency doctors and specialist paramedics use cutting-edge trauma techniques and surgery normally only seen in operating theatres to save people from almost certain death.
I suspect we are going to be cracking open the blood products en route.
Female casualty.
Filmed alongside the critical care teams, we captured every vital second as these specialist crews work to save lives.
1, 2, 3, roll.
Tonight, a driver is critically injured after a serious collision on the motorway.
I think he's losing a bit of blood into his tummy by the look of it.
I think he should have a code red available, please.
Everybody hands off.
A man is in cardiac arrest after a drugs overdose.
You said he's taken heroin. Has he taken anything else at all?
Do you remember falling?
An elderly lady is in agony after a fall downstairs.
Okay, girls, ready, steady.
And the critical care team are called to a serious incident with reports of multiple stabbings.
Firearms are in attendance at the location.
Armed police are on scene. They've had reports of 2 people injured.
Ambulance service, how can I help?
Hello, it's Motorway Police Control Room. Need an ambulance to M6, Junction 11, northbound. We had an initial call from the driver of an Arctic lorry to say that a white transit van had gone into the rear of his truck. Literally, as we put the camera around, it's been hit by another truck. It looks like the van's now on its side up the verge.
We have a crew on the motorway as we speak.
Information post back there said the motorway is completely closed between 11 and 12.
Right.
Where we're heading.
Road traffic collisions on a motorway usually involve a high-speed impact and the potential for life-threatening injuries. Dr. Katie White and critical care paramedic Mike Andrews are immediately dispatched.
We're going to the M6 and we've been told that there is a transit van that's gone into the back of a lorry in lane 1 of the motorway. That van has then been hit from behind by another vehicle.
Reports that the transit van crashed into the rear of a lorry and was then struck by another truck increases the chance of significant injuries. So Mike and Dr. Katie's enhanced skills are likely to be needed.
Thanks, that's been investigated. The driver of the lorry is injured and then he didn't want to be assessed.
After a 6-minute drive, Mike and Katie arrive at the scene to find a van is on its side, having collided with 2 lorries.
Happy with just the red bag?
Yeah, we might need the blue bag as well and the blood, but we'll come back, shall we? Hi there.
The driver of the van, the only person injured, has been moved to the ambulance.
So you've seen the van down the road?
Yeah.
He's been hit by a van, stopped in the road, and then another one's come up behind him at about 55, 60 miles an hour and just wiped him out.
Okay.
The driver of the van collided with the rear of a lorry. After coming to a stop on the carriageway, he was hit by a truck, which pushed his van up the side of the motorway embankment.
Hello, my name's Katie. I'm one of the doctors. How are you doing? What's hurting at the moment?
The 39-year-old van driver was on his way to work when the crash happened.
Sorry, lovely. Nice deep breath for me. Okay, good. And again. Okay, so we've got nice symmetrical chest expansion, some bruising to that. Okay.
Dr. Katie and Mike need to carefully manage the patient's airway to ensure he doesn't choke.
So he's gone into the back of that lower loader?
As Dr. Katie treats the driver, Mike examines the wreckage. The condition of the cab can point to the kind of internal injuries he may have suffered.
Yeah. Okay, that van's a mess, isn't it? Yeah.
Lots of intrusion, or?
Yeah, I'd say, but roof's down a little bit. Not too much around him, but he's been shaking around a little bit, I must say.
Okay, so I think we need blue bag.
Yeah, okay.
We've got a very weak radial pulse.
Okay.
A faint radial pulse is an indication of low blood pressure. It's possible the patient has life-threatening internal bleeding.
Distended abdomen, some bruising across his abdomen. It's quite tense.
He needs to be scanned in hospital urgently.
From what we've seen so far, he's got a bit of abdo swelling, and I think he's losing a bit of blood into his tummy by the look of it. Okay. So we'll have to nick off quite quickly down to the QA.
Okay.
And he's been hypotensive with you?
He was when he was out there. He was
fine.
About 70 systolic.
Yeah.
Right.
But you've got 2 blood pressures on there.
Fine. Lovely. Shall we start going?
Yes, Flower.
That'd be lovely. Thank you.
His blood pressure is falling and potentially he's bleeding internally. They need to get him to the major trauma centre at Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital, but that's 20 miles away.
I think he could deteriorate en route.
Okay.
Were you on the desk last night?
No, I wasn't actually. I was on the desk in the day.
It's the start of another night shift for critical care paramedic Kerry Hemus and Dr. Adam Lowe.
It's Friday, yeah. You know what that means, don't you?
We're going to have an amazing night.
Everyone's going to behave themselves at the pub. No one's going to fight. They're all going to go home, get a cup of tea and some biscuits, and then go to bed. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of fighting. Lots of drunk people.
The region is in the midst of a heat wave, and long summer evenings mean busy shifts for the critical care team, with the previous night racking up thousands of 999 calls.
I think when they're hitting over 5,000 jobs a day, it's
Yeah.
a bit sombering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, police. How can I help?
Hello, it's what of a stabbing.
Do you know if it's a male or a female patient that's been stabbed, sorry?
A male.
Was it a male adult?
Yes.
And what details do we have about what's going on then, please?
So all we know is that someone's been stabbed, everybody's shouting, and we've got no further details.
Help has been arranged, okay? Can I just check, do we know the attacker is still on scene?
We've got no other details.
Within minutes, there are multiple 999 calls and reports of a number of stabbings. Dr. Adam and Kerry are immediately dispatched.
White Delta 98.
It's a serious incident that calls on the resources of both the ambulance service and police armed response units.
We're on channel 8181, please, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. We'll change to channel 8181, and we're probably around 10 minutes out of it.
With reports that at least one person has been stabbed, Dr. Adam and Kerry's life-saving skills will be crucial.
There's going to be police all over this and firearms.
Working alongside the other critical care teams in the West Midlands is a group of 50 specialist doctors, nurses and paramedics. They're on standby to provide additional life-saving expertise where it's most needed.
Female casualty, breathing and conscious.
Known as CARE, the Central Accident Resuscitation and Emergency Team is made up of both volunteer and paid professionals and has been operating across the West Midlands for over 30 years.
Can I have this one in the middle bit?
In the middle bit?
In the front.
Dr. Hadassah Islandfelt is an emergency medicine registrar at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham and works an average of 2 shifts a week for the CARE team.
So we have helmets in the back, we have high-vis. I've seen the gloves.
Today, she's partnered with paramedic Richard Smith and nurse Richard Howarth.
Blood bag, 100% tag checked. Yes. Lucas, yes. 2 batteries, yeah. Final thing is to collect blood.
That sounds wonderful.
Ambulance services, a patient, please.
There's a lad down on one of these roads right behind his head, and he looks like he's overdosed because I know him to be a heroin user. Okay. I tried to wake him up, I just can't.
Okay, is he breathing?
I don't know, because he's down the road.
Do you think he could have taken a heroin overdose?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so you said you couldn't wake him up?
No, I couldn't, and he's gone all funny colour.
The effects of a heroin overdose can be reversed, but treatment is time critical. The emergency is passed to Dr. Hadassah and her team.
I know. It's probably an overdose, but it's not serious, but I'm just not breathing enough.
We are a couple of minutes away.
An ambulance crew are already treating the patient and keeping Dr. Hadassah and her team updated on their condition.
There we go. And we're in active cardiac arrest. You still happy to say lead, Rich?
You have reached.
We've just arrived on scene, thank you.
The patient was found lying unconscious in a hedgerow. He's in cardiac arrest, and a police officer is helping the ambulance crews perform CPR.
Yeah.
He's got has taken heroin.
Yeah.
Has had 1 shot.
Yeah.
Still in cardiac arrest.
Okay.
Get near assurance in Narcan.
The ambulance paramedics are preparing to administer a drug called Narcan, which can reverse the effects of heroin if it's given in time.
Okay.
Last year, over 4,500 people died from drug overdoses in England and Wales. Luckily, the 33-year-old man was found by a friend who called 999.
I thought he was asleep, to all intents and purposes. But then when I just poked him like that and he rolled over and just went and hit the floor, I thought, this ain't good. So I tried my best to put him in a recovery position, and then I ran all the way down the next road for a phone box that worked.
As they'll be managing the patient's airways, Dr. Hadassah and Rich change into level 3 PPE.
Where are we at?
Where at the moment,
yeah.
If you can get the Lucas for me, we can swap that out.
Yeah.
Still in VF, he's had another shot to us.
Yeah.
We're going to give another shot of Narcan.
Yeah.
And see where we go from there, okay?
Fine.
The patient's heart is in ventricular fibrillation, or VF. It has a chaotic rhythm and isn't pumping blood or oxygen around the body as it should. The critical care teams carry the Lucas mechanical chest compression system. This allows compressions to be given even while they administer electric shocks to try and bring the heart back into a normal rhythm.
How far off are we from the next rhythm check?
25 seconds for the rhythm check. Right. Pause for a rhythm check. Right. So off the chest. We're still in VF. Continue CPR. I'm going to charge. I'm charging at 200. Everybody hands off. I'm clear.
Clear.
Okay, top, middle, bottom clear. Stopping. Right.
Everyone stand back. All good? Okay.
So far, all attempts to revive him have failed.
Hiya. You said he's taken heroin. Has he taken anything else at all?
I do know that he smokes that Spice Mamba.
Spice, or Mamba, is a man-made drug similar to cannabis, but many times stronger.
Smoked a bit of Mamba as well.
If he's taken a cocktail of drugs, this could be hampering efforts to save him.
Well, I think he smokes quite a lot then.
Okay.
on the M6 in Wolverhampton, critical care paramedic Mike Andrews and Dr. Katie White are treating a seriously injured driver. His van has collided with 2 lorries on the motorway.
How's your pain at the moment? It's okay. And you normally fit in well? And where is the pain? Sorry?
All in your stomach, yeah.
Dr. Katie suspects the patient may have internal bleeding and needs to get him to the nearest major trauma centre as soon as possible.
Hi Lars, we've last seen Mike and I are travelling with this patient to the QE, so I've got a pre-alert, please.
Dr. Katie radios ahead to update the trauma desk.
I've got a 39-year-old male RTC on the motorway, van driver, struck by lorry. No obvious head or chest injuries, but he's got a distended, tense abdomen. BP currently 120 systolic, but did have an episode of hypotension prior to our arrival. I'm going to give just I'm just going to give 15 mics of this.
Dr. Katie gives the patient an injection of fentanyl, a strong opioid painkiller to help him cope with the pain of his injuries on the journey to hospital.
This on your arm? What about your arm, buddy? Okay, just your arm. You're in pain up there. In your chest, in your shoulder. You've got shoulder tip pain now on top of that, yeah. Has that pain just started in your shoulder?
Yeah, blood pressure's dropping.
Is it?
We'll probably have to we're going to have to give him some blood.
The patient's condition is deteriorating. A drop in blood pressure combined with shoulder pain are all signs of internal bleeding.
I am tempted to run through the blood warmer.
To increase his blood pressure, Dr. Katie decides to give him a blood transfusion using a machine that warms the blood to body temperature.
His pulse is a lot weaker. So the first unit's going in at
444.
Okay, lovely. We're doing so well. Hello, it's Katie on Merit. Could you please ask if we could have a conference call with the QE, please?
Dr. Katie radios ahead with another update as the patient is now in a critical condition.
Hello, hi. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I am quite concerned about him that he's bleeding, and I think he should have a code red available, please.
A code red means the hospital need to have blood on standby for an emergency life-saving transfusion.
Hi, buddy. Just at hospital now, fella.
At Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, the man is handed over to the major trauma team for emergency treatment.
Okay, you happy doing bottom end? Mike, you happy at the top?
Uh-huh. All right, Chief.
Well done, good man, all right. Okay, all right. He's obviously got serious injuries. We found that his abdomen was tense, it was swollen, there was bruising across it, and he had signs consistent with the fact that he was probably bleeding. I suspect that he will go to theatre. They are life-threatening injuries that he has.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Yes, breathing, yes.
Is the patient awake?
No yet now, no yet.
Why do you need an emergency ambulance?
Last time in hospital, they tell me if you got seizure, my boy, just call, more than 7 minutes, I call.
Okay, so this patient had a seizure?
Yes.
Right, how old's the patient?
10 years.
10 years old?
Yes.
Childhood seizures leading to loss of consciousness can be very dangerous, especially if there is no known cause. So critical care paramedics Kerry Penn-Ashman and Faye Pollock are immediately dispatched.
We are the nearest resource to a 10-year-old who has believed to have had a fit. We're only 2 minutes drive away now, so there is an ambulance backing us up.
Faye and Kerry will be first on scene.
I'm going to park a little bit further up so the ambulance crew can get behind us. Some aprons in the back.
Yes. Good morning. Hello. My name's Faye. This is Kerry.
I'm Kerry. How are you diddling? You able to sit up? What happened? You don't know? No.
10-year-old Ahmed had been asleep in the bedroom when he suddenly fell unconscious and suffered a 7-minute fit. His mother, Tamadur, made the 999 call.
How do you feel? You don't know? Can I pop some little monitoring on you? Hey? Can I put that on your finger?
Yes, of course.
Look at that.
Look, what happens, Mum?
He got seizure already 2 years ago.
So he had one about 2 years ago, right? And what happened before he had the seizure 2 years ago? Did anything happen to him?
No, just I show you now in my phone. A minute.
Yes, of course.
He just sleeping and start shaking.
Can I have that? Can I have that arm?
Ahmed has stopped fitting but is exhausted. Faye needs to gather as much information as possible to try and diagnose his condition.
Good boy.
8 minutes after the 999 call was made, the ambulance crew arrive.
We need to take a little spot of blood outside of your finger. Can we do that? It comes a little bit sharp, and then we just need to check your blood. Is that okay? Okay, so my colleague's going to do it. So let's have this arm.
All right, sharp scratch.
Sharp scratch, Spud.
Well done. Oh, you were super brave. Well done.
It was him, not me.
Oh.
Well done, sweetie.
You blame me.
Perfect. Well done, sweetheart.
Oh, well done. Did you give that a squeeze for us as well? Good man.
Kerry and the ambulance paramedic check Ahmed's blood sugar levels, heart rate and temperature to look for any abnormalities.
Apparently he had a seizure about 2 years ago, but other than that, I haven't got any more detail.
So he's got a good radial. Sats are 98%, heart rate on the monitor's 100. Good lad. Does your head feel funny? Does your head now? Do you feel tired? Yeah, a little bit tired. Okay, sweetheart.
Although Ahmed's observations are now improving, Faye and Kerry want to try and find out what could have caused the seizure in the first place.
He wasn't poorly, didn't have any to complain of feeling ill or... No, nothing happened. I see his bike is on the porch outside, or someone's bike. He hasn't fallen off his bike or anything.
White Delta 98 on channel, over.
Yeah, in view of the fact we're unknown and police thinking it might be quite dangerous.
In Birmingham, critical care paramedic Kerry Hemus and Dr. Adam Lowe have been called to a serious incident with multiple stab victims reported.
40 received. Yes, all received. All resources, thank you.
Police and ambulance have been dispatched to deal with what has been described as a violent attack.
Firearms are in attendance at the location, doing a search. At this moment in time, there are no reported casualties being found. However, they have been made aware that there are potentially 2 that have been stabbed in particular.
Armed police are on scene. They've had reports of 2 people injured. They haven't come across them yet. We're going to a rendezvous point slightly away from the scene, which is where the ambulance crew and other police are meeting, and then we'll be directed from there.
As there are reports of multiple stabbings and it's not clear if the attackers are still on scene, the medical teams head for a meeting point until police have secured the area.
Do you want Art to continue over?
Yeah, if they could, just so we get a bit more intelligence on what the police find at the scene of it.
Understood, thank you.
HART is the Hazardous Area Response Team. paramedics trained to provide medical care in the most dangerous situations.
It's already quite congested. If the rest can just hold off in the corner, so we have to take as many patients.
9-8, we're on scene.
Yeah, we just came. We've had two firearms on scene. No sign of any patients. No sign.
Armed police officers and several teams of doctors and specialist paramedics have all been sent to the location.
We'll just take bag one for now, I think,
absolutely.
and seeing as I haven't found anything.
Kerry and Dr. Adam receive an update from the Tactical Incident Commander.
Had a good search of the area. We've had no calls. They've
I think it was a hoax.
At the location and around the location. There's been no reports of any patients when nobody's flagging themselves. So I think from our point of view, we're going to stand down.
Sound?
Too good?
Once we can get out.
Cheers, mate.
With no sign of any victims, the crews are stood down. But the police and armed officers will continue the search despite the belief it's a hoax call.
Down all resources. No patients found. Police are going to recontact if they find anybody else.
Received, understood. Thank you. Standing you down.
In the past 5 years, West Midlands Ambulance Service have received over 5,500 hoax calls.
So I think it's a hoax job.
Hoax, I think.
Yeah, so we're standing down.
All these resources for nothing?
Yeah.
Like the
Police are
Paramedics
going to carry on just looking potentially, but obviously we can't tap all the ambulance resources when we're very busy.
Every single hoax ties up vital resources and puts lives at risk.
They had 6 cars there, the police, because obviously they have to take it very seriously.
Well, to be fair, it sounded like it was something when we first left base. You're driving your blue light through the streets and all for someone who's probably sitting in a room giggling and feeling really proud of themselves.
Still in VF.
VF, let's shock him and then we'll do it. So everyone stand back.
Now.
Right. All good? Okay, stop there. Right, let's rotate him on this side. So.
In Birmingham, paramedic Richard Smith, Dr. Hadassah Eilenfeld and nurse Richard Howarth are working with ambulance crews to save a man in cardiac arrest.
That's good, just pull the Lucas out. There we go. Let's pop the Lucas on.
The patient is thought to have taken heroin as well as a synthetic cannabis drug called Mamba. So far, he remains unresponsive to treatment.
How are we for oxygen?
We need a new ball.
Cylinder.
Okay, I've got an adrenaline there. I need another amiodarone.
Adrenaline constricts blood vessels, increasing the blood supply to the heart and making CPR more effective. Dr. Hadassah also gives a drug called amiodarone, which stabilizes agitated heart muscle.
There's 150 of amiodarone and another milligram of adrenaline going in now.
At the moment, mechanical CPR is doing the job of a normal beating heart, pumping blood around the body, but his heart is still not beating for itself.
We got the stretcher ready. Okay, good. Let's get someone at the head end ready to lift. We'll lift and we'll move the stretcher in. That'll do, that's good. In you go, Saul. Okay, good.
Let's do a rhythm check while we're here, just because we had a stop, so we're going to pause. We are in VF, so going back on, and we're going to charge and shock again.
I'm not touching.
Lovely, and then let's get an adrenaline in.
We're 5 minutes out.
Let's go.
On the journey to Heartlands Hospital, the team continue to administer advanced life support. Every 2 minutes, they check for any signs of life.
We are breathing. We've got a rhythm consistent with life.
After 30 minutes of CPR, the patient's heart is at last showing signs that it may be able to beat on its own.
Let's get the whole lot of that adrenaline in.
Yeah. I need another syringe, 10ml syringe for me, mate.
We'll do a rhythm check before we get off the truck.
Okay, yeah.
So we're 1 minute out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Arriving at hospital, they need to get the patient into resus as quickly as possible.
So we're pausing, rhythm check, no, we're back in VF again, there's going to be no cardiac movement. So let's shock before we go anywhere. Okay, so let's restart.
Despite the shocks, adrenaline and compression cycles, the patient's heart cannot maintain a natural rhythm.
Okay, top, middle, bottom, looking. Good shock.
Lovely.
Okay, so.
Okay.
So.
Let's get, can we have an oxygen cylinder?
Okay, mate, right, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Happy?
Yeah.
When you're ready, let's go.
The patient will be taken into resuscitation, where doctors will continue the fight to save his life.
Ambulance service, is she breathing?
Yes, she is. It's the 95-year-old. I've just come in to give her a breakfast and she's on the floor.
Is she willing and able to speak to me at the moment?
She's on the floor. I daren't move her.
That's
She's
fine.
bleeding and whatever else. She's all over the hall.
Has she banged her head when she's fell over?
She has, yeah. She said she's been there all night. She was going to bed. She's got a stair lift, and the stair lift is at the top.
Yeah.
And she's down here in the living room.
The home is the most common place for accidents to happen. Every year in the UK, more than a third of people over the age of 65 have a fall requiring hospital treatment.
Her age is definitely of concern.
An ambulance has already been dispatched, but given the patient's age, she is high risk. So critical care paramedics Grant Soulsby and Kerry Hemus are also en route.
Grand old age of 95 and sounds like she's relatively mobile. So by falling top to bottom, there's lots of injuries that she could have sustained, not just her head. Obviously, her head's the obvious one because it's the one that you can see, but you have to consider the fact that she could have fractured her neck and back. Bless her. The elderly don't fare too well after a fall like this, do they, really?
Not usually.
Kerry and Grant arrive at the property and are briefed by the ambulance crew who have assessed the patient.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello, all right.
95-year-old lady. She's fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Right.
She thinks she's lost consciousness at one point. She has GCS 15 scores.
Okay, great stuff.
She has got abrasions with forehead and some spine pain.
Okay. No worries.
95-year-old Irmgard was discovered by neighbours who check in on her every morning. It appears that she fell from the top of the stairs just before going up to bed at 10 o'clock last night and has been lying on the floor for 12 hours.
Oh, hello there.
Hello.
My name's Kerry.
Kerry.
Yeah, we've come to just look after you at the moment, okay? Do you remember what happened?
Well, I was going to bed.
You were going to bed?
And
have you
I turned around.
And you fell?
And then I was asking, was it going giddy or something like that?
Okay.
And then I fall down.
You fell down. And do you remember falling?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know did you wake up at all? Do you know if you were actually knocked out unconscious? Do you remember waking up or do you remember the whole thing?
I remember.
You remember it all?
Yes.
By checking Irmgard's memory of the fall, it helps Kerry determine the severity of her head injury and if there's a threat of concussion.
Any pain here in your chest at all? No.
It's my back.
It's your back.
It's my back.
Well, it's not going to help. Did you get to hear yourself? Did you get to this position yourself from the bottom of the stairs? Because you're in the living room at the moment.
Yes.
You did. You got here yourself.
Yeah.
So did you crawl through? Do you know?
Yes,
You did.
I did.
As Irmgard has been able to crawl from the bottom of the stairs to the living room, Kerry is able to rule out a spinal cord injury. But it's obvious Irmgard is in considerable pain.
What we're going to do, sweetheart, we're just going to move you away from the wall, okay? Okay, and I'm going to go sort of top.
Irmgard has injured her back, leg and head in the fall and can barely move due to the pain. Kerry and Grant need to get her onto a scoop and into the ambulance, but it's not going to be pain-free.
Okay, girls, ready, steady, move.
Mum, what happened before he had the seizure? What happened at the run-up? Just fast asleep?
Just sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sleeping.
So yesterday he was well?
In Handsworth, critical care paramedics Kerry Penn-Ashman and Faye Pollock are treating 10-year-old Ahmed, who has just suffered a seizure. It's still not clear what has caused it.
He's
2018 he started.
2018 he started having seizures. When he was, how old is he now?
10 years.
10, right. Does he have any medicine for it?
Finished. He got already a tablet.
So he had a tablet 2 years ago.
No, 2020, finished tablet.
Okay.
And he do MRI scan.
Up until today, when was the last time he had a fit?
Months.
Months, oh good.
Month.
As Faye gets more information from Ahmed's mother about his medical history, Kerry and the ambulance crew continue running tests to see what might have caused the seizure.
Yeah. You're doing very well. Yeah? You're very brave, aren't you? All right. I think we're going to have to take you to the hospital. Okay. We'll sort it out with Mum. Yeah.
No, nothing untoward with his obs?
No, everything's very stable, just obviously with normal. His BM's fine, everything like that. He's sort of responding, able to talk and interact normally.
So we might be taking you to the hospital in our ambulance.
Is that okay? Yeah?
To the children's hospital. Have you been there before?
I think from what Mum said, yeah, he's treated at. And I don't know whether he's been diagnosed with anything or he's on any meds.
Faye updates the team with Ahmed's medical history.
I had a seizure probably about 2 years ago and has kind of had them a few times since then, but not lasting as long as they have done today. Today it was a lot over 7 minutes. And it does look like a proper tonic-clonic because she has videoed it. Yeah. But they've had a cold. You had a cold before half term, didn't you?
Oh dear, such lovely weather as well.
Mum did the right thing, booked in for a COVID test for all 4 of them because there's 2 younger boys. Yeah. They went yesterday, got tested, it's come back negative, but just a cough and cold type symptoms. He had an MRI and an EEG in March, but she hasn't got the results yet.
A tonic-clonic seizure is where a person loses consciousness, muscles stiffen, and jerking movements are seen. A seizure that lasts more than 5 minutes is a medical emergency. Ahmed was fitting for over 7 minutes.
So he's not medicated or anything like that?
No, not he was taking tablets, but he stopped taking them last year for some reason, but I can't quite understand why.
As part of their assessment, Faye needs to rule out bacterial meningitis, a dangerous infection that kills 10% of people who catch it.
Right, so I'm just going to have a little look at your tummy just to see if we've got any rashes. You hold on to your trousers and I'll look at your tummy. That's it, your team effort, eh? Can you put your chin down onto your chest? Does that hurt in your neck at all?
Faye checks for rashes, muscle pain, and any disturbances in Ahmed's vision. All conditions linked to meningitis, which can also trigger a seizure.
If I was to turn you round, look, and ask you to look at the window, look at the light, does that hurt your eyes? No, good boy. Can you walk out this way towards Mummy?
Thankfully, he's not showing any symptoms of meningitis. So the priority now is to get Ahmed to hospital for further tests to find out what is causing his seizures.
You lean all the way back on here, makes up really probably like you're in bed.
Children can compensate really, really well for any illness or any trauma. They're a bit, I always liken them to lemmings, where you go on the top of a cliff and they'll just walk and be absolutely fine, and then they'll suddenly decompensate and they'll just jump off the edge of the cliff, and it can be that quick. He has fitted previously, but he hasn't had a formal diagnosis of anything. So hopefully, again, going back down to the children's might facilitate a diagnosis or get balls rolling again. Right, thank you so much, guys. I hope you feel better soon, Spud. Take it easy.
God, where did that hurt when we moved you? Was that your back?
Yes.
In King's Standing, critical care paramedics Kerry Hemus and Grant Soulsby are with 95-year-old Irmgard. She's fallen from the top of the stairs all the way to the bottom and has been lying on the floor since last night.
Right, stay nice and still and let me hold your head, OK?
Yeah.
We're going to roll you onto your left side, OK?
Irmgard has suffered injuries to her head, back and leg and is in a lot of pain. Grant and Kerry want to get her into the ambulance so she can be fully assessed, but first they need to move her.
Give us some morphine before we move.
Yeah. We're going to get you some stronger pain relief. Can we just get a blood pressure and a SATs on to make sure we've got a decent blood pressure and a pulse? Sorry.
Pass me your hand just here, look. You're doing a marvellous job, well done.
That's it. Keep your head nice and still for me.
Just have to listen your arm.
All right, we're just going to give you some morphine now, Irmgard. Yeah. It might make you feel a little bit dizzy and a little bit sick, all right? If you get any of those feelings, just let me know, all right?
Grant and Kerry need to get Irmgard's pain under control before they can attempt to move her onto the ambulance.
It's lovely to meet you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Put both your hands on, so one on a shoulder here and then one on a hip.
There you go.
Just be careful because that hip hurts, OK? OK, ready, steady, roll.
Oh,
Well done.
Well done, Irmgard, that's brilliant. OK, my darling.
There we go.
OK, push it underneath and back down. Ready, steady, roll. Oh, I'm sorry, darling.
Yeah, well done, you.
Irmgard, we're going to lift you up on this scoop now. It's going to feel a bit strange, OK? Because we're going to carry you to our bed, all right? Are you ready? Yeah. OK. Ready, steady, lift.
Now safely and comfortably on a scoop,
It's a bit bumpy here, my darling. I'm ever so sorry.
Irmgard will travel to Sandwell General Hospital.
Injuries top to toe. I'll do a bit of scribbling.
So we've got haematoma to the forehead. She didn't complain of any C-spine tenderness with me, but she did with the crew. And she's got global back pain, which is an ongoing thing. Chest is clear. Pelvis appears symmetrical with no pain.
The critical care team are happy Irmgard is stable enough to travel, so hands over to the ambulance crew.
We'll let Sandwell know.
OK.
I think, bless her, she's done all right, hasn't she? Considering she's come top to bottom.
It's likely Irmgard will need a CT scan for her head injury and X-rays to her back and legs to rule out any broken bones.
Oh, thank you. All right.
I hope you're back home soon, all right? Take care then.
See you then, all the best.
She's amazing for her
Oh
age.
my goodness. I'm not going to reach 95. If I did, I'd want to be like that. So she's a 95-year-old lady, lives on her own, refuses to have a care line, made of tough stuff. To say that she's fallen top to bottom of the stairs, she's actually got off quite lightly, hasn't she?
The problem is with the elderly generation sometimes, they can be a lot more resilient and they don't want to cause a fuss and they can sometimes have much more serious injuries and sometimes hide it a little bit. But yeah, she's a remarkable lady and hopefully she's home soon. So
yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. Yeah.